Yo, what is up guys? It's Gumwings here, back with another reaction video, and today we got another Mr. Nightmare video. It's been such a long time since I did a Mr. Nightmare video. So today we got 3 scary true Chuck E. Cheese stories. I hope you guys will enjoy. I'm getting back into some of my reaction videos, as you guys can tell from my previous uploads. I am slowly getting back into recording more reactions. So, we're gonna react to Mr. Nightmare. I hope you guys will enjoy this video. If you did, hit the like button, the subscribe button if you haven't yet, and hit the post notification bell, because I don't have a schedule. Also go check out the original video. The original video will be in the description down below, and go check out Mr. Nightmare. And I suggest that you guys should subscribe to him if you enjoyed this video. Anyways, we're gonna begin in 3, 2, 1. Chuck E. Cheese horror stories. I don't even go to Chuck E. Cheese anymore. Do you guys go to Chuck E. Cheese still? Because I don't anymore. Haven't gone there like 3
Remember
years.
Chuck E. Cheese, that old arcade with the singing animatronics?
Yeah, why is his eye facing the other way?
I just found out they went
Why
bankrupt.
is this? Okay. Before I even hear the story, somebody tell me why his eyes are facing opposite directions. Is he a chameleon? Is he possessed already? Like, if you're gonna make it face the same direction, don't make it face somewhere else. Like, I'm really getting red flags before this video even starts.
It made me think back to my horrible experience there as a very little kid. I was no older than 8 or 9. It was like my third and last time ever at a Chuck E. Cheese. This specific location closed down years ago, but it used to be basically down the street from our old house.
Wow.
My mom took my little brother and I, and she let us roam free and do our own thing and play the games, while she sat at one of the tables reading like most of the other parents.
Wow, they have a
playing
Faster
this
Zombies
clown
game.
where you had to shoot the clown's teeth out with this little cannonball shooter. I was playing the games
I
that
don't
would
think I
get
ever
me
played
the
this
most
one.
tickets for the prizes. I finished the game again, and the tickets shot out from the ticket slot. That's when I felt a tap on my shoulder. I turned and jumped in my seat.
So wait, before we see what happens, I just want to know. Remember when we used to go to arcades or like a carnival and we just gather tickets? Don't you remember those days? Like where we just have to gather tickets. Now we earn credits with a card that you have to buy. Remember those days where we just have to use tokens? Now you have a card to swipe. It's like arcades will never be the same as they were before, which is kind of a good thing. Like, I don't want to carry around like 500 tickets. But at the same time, I want only one card carrying all my tickets. I'm not sure that
I was
makes sense.
greeted with a giant Chuck E. Cheese mascot in my face. He
Okay,
held out his
I
hand
jumped
for
a little.
high five, and naturally I gave him his high five with a smile. He then pointed at the tickets and gave me a thumbs up. I think I just continued laughing and smiling and said, yeah. Then he pointed at the tickets once more and motioned for me to follow him. So I ripped the tickets from the slot and followed the giant mascot. As we walked across the main floor, a couple other kids around like 6 came up to him saying, "Hey Chucky," and he gave them both high fives. I kept following him, wondering if he'd tell the other kids to follow.
If he leads into the back room, you're done. You're done. I don't think like if we're 6 years old, we're not thinking straight. I think like by the time we reach 10, we finally know like, okay, yeah, I'm seeing red flags. But I don't think a 6-year-old like really sees red flags. I think they're more gullible. So like I know what you guys are thinking. Every time I do a reaction video, you're gonna be like, I'm gonna be like, yo, if he's trying to lead you to a back door or back room, don't go in. How can anyone be this stupid? But like this is a little kid. Like I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Like kids are gullible.
But he didn't. He would turn back every few seconds to make sure I was still following. Finally, we made it across the main floor by the stage towards this back area.
Yeah, he is
to
in
follow
the back
him through
room.
this employees only door. From what I remember about how I was feeling, let's just say a combination of weird and excited. We We entered this narrow hallway, and I felt kind of special for being allowed access back here. Keep in mind, I had the mind and maturity of a very young child.
Yeah.
The
Yes,
mascot
that's what
led
you
me
mean
to
by
this
the
back
doubt.
room where he motioned for me to enter first, so I did. It was this small changing room type of room. It had a few lockers on one wall and one long bench extending half the length of the room. That was it. He entered the
He's gonna
room
turn
and
like
shut the
purple
door
guy.
behind us.
He's gonna pull a purple guy. Bro, I used to play FNAF a lot. I already see where this is going. Back room, backstage, same thing. He's gonna commit the murders and then stuff your body into a suit. I've seen this before. Or he could be a predator and then, do the child, try him on. Uh, I feel bad for the
I
child
noticed
if he
he
actually
locked
touches
it.
him.
That's when I became confused and afraid. I thought he was taking me to get a bunch of free tickets. What could he possibly do in this empty room with me? He approached me, put his furry mascot hand on my shoulder, and then started rubbing from my shoulder to my arm. Then he seemed as though he tried to reach lower with both of his hands, and I pushed him off and yelled, "Stop." That's when the person in the suit lifted the mask off his head, revealing some sweaty, middle-aged man underneath. He started to remove the rest of the costume from himself as he told me to be quiet. I sat there watching, shaking, and plotting my way for the door.
Yeah, it's a predator.
When I thought he was distracted enough by the suit, I tried to run past him for the door, but he grabbed me and told me to stop. He offered me all the free tickets I wanted if I just behaved. I started to yell and pound on the door. He tried to cover.
Bro, like, how do predators even get hired at Chuck E. Cheese? Like, how do you hire a predator at Chuck E. Cheese? How? Like, do you not do background checks? I know what some of you guys are saying, like, oh, Gumwings, he probably turned into a predator right after he got hired. Like, bro, especially when you have a middle-aged man working for kids, I would really raise my red flags. So like the first thing I would do is like every week or at least every month, I would do a screening. I would rescreen everyone because if there's a predator working at a child's place, your reputation's gonna be bad. That's why this place got shut down. You had a predator working at Chuck E. Cheese. So
Cover my mouth.
yeah.
I think he gave up when he realized it wasn't worth the risk for him. I unlocked the door and ran back down the hall in tears. I ran back to my mom, yelling at her about what just happened. She was distraught and went right to the front desk. The girl at the front desk seemed to be in a panic as well, and I think she called for her supervisor. Pretty soon, all the music was stopped and the place was put into a lockdown of sorts, where all the kids were to go to their parents. A bunch of workers ran to the back section, and eventually police showed up outside. I had to give my whole story to a crowd of like 6 people, and I was
Wow.
extremely nervous. The man in the Chucky suit was some random creep who snuck into the back section of the building to dress in one of the suits and apparently lure children to the back. Realizing and looking back at that now as a grown adult is disturbing and disgusting, that I was the victim of a predator. I never found out if that monster was caught.
Okay, but like, I think he did get caught. I wouldn't say he did get caught. Like, I hope he did. The whole place was on lockdown, and he was trying to take off the suit. I think he would have got caught. I think he's like a 6-year-old, so like his mom probably never told him like the aftermath. I don't think any parent would tell them the aftermath of a serious situation. But how do you let someone sneak into the back? How do you let some random stranger come into the back of the room and then try to lure kids? Like, is the back door unlocked? Do employees not have keys to enter? Like, I feel like if things get worse, like, if things are worse nowadays, I feel like uh, workers should carry a key to enter the like staff rooms and stuff. Like no random person should enter a staff room. It should either be an adult or a kid. I mean, it should be someone that's working there. No random stranger. Alright, here we go. Story 2. I jumped in the first one.
I used to work for Chuck E. Cheese very briefly when I was 21 years old. I was one of the janitors slash maintenance workers. I know, not very awe-inspiring. I was broke as hell and needed money.
Bro, I think the worst thing is that you worked as a janitor. Like, imagine working as a janitor at Chuck E. Cheese. Like, it's already bad enough that you have to clean, like, I don't know, the slides or, actually, that's the only place that actually smells. The bathrooms are the worst still. Like, if you're a janitor, I would actually feel bad for you. Like, I have sympathy for you guys. You guys are doing a lot to clean the bathrooms. Like, I could never force myself to clean a bathroom. It's just so disgusting, bro.
All my job really entailed was cleaning tables and keeping the play areas generally clean.
A play area
Sounds
stink.
easy, but there was never really a time to just sit and take a breath. There was always something to clean or take care of. I would also be in charge of turning on and off the animatronics, opening the stage curtains, fixing busted arcade machines, and things of that nature. My shifts would always be later, from like 4 to 10 p.m. My location closed at 8 on weekdays and 9 on weekends.
That makes sense.
I would stay an hour, sometimes 2 hours after, to get the place in top shape, ready for the next day. So this one night, I was working past close like I usually did. Everyone had already left the building, including the other workers, so I was the last one in the building.
Wow.
I was dragging my cleaning cart around the arcade area.
I can never, like, work by myself late at night. Like, there's some guy that works in a movie theater. You really can, like, it really gives you a bad vibe when you work by yourself at night. Like, cleaning the bathrooms by myself at night, like, everything's closed? Like, it's really creepy. I mean, I don't even clean the toilets. I have my partner do it. I just clean, like, the mirrors and the sinks. Like, I'm doing that, and he's just cleaning the toilet, so, yeah. But, like, staying after hours, like, when all, like, the customers are gone, and it's just you and, like, some other people that are trying to leave as well, you really get some creepy vibes. And then you're just forcing yourself to finish faster so that you don't get left behind. But, like, if I'm working by myself at night, I can never do that. It just gives me such creepy vibes already. I already get creepy vibes being by myself during the day. Like, when I'm working by myself during the day, I'm really getting creepy vibes. So at night, it's, like, way worse.
I had already turned off all the game machines. I was by that space-themed arcade machine where you had to press the button at the right moment to stop the light on the jackpot bulb.
Oh, I think I played that once.
As I was passing by this machine, the space-themed music suddenly emits from the machine at a very loud volume, and all the lights start flashing again.
Ooh.
I felt like my heart was in my throat. That's how much it startled me. I fiddled with my keys to access the control port of the machine to turn it off again. I'd never seen anything like that happen before. It suddenly
Place is
just
haunted.
freaked me out. Only because I was all alone in that big building pretty late at night.
Yeah.
The weirdness didn't stop there, though. By this point in the night, I had already shut down the animatronics on the stage. So when I heard Chucky's pre-recorded laugh break the silence of the room...
Bro, don't ever do that again. Don't ever play the laugh again, bro. I was waiting for a jump scare and like they played the sound. Bro, how did the sound get me? This is a fucking FNAF. They really doing the FNAF thing now. Yo, don't tell me this story came up before FNAF. Like, they really pushing it now.
My heart started pounding again.
Yeah, I would.
The laugh was
I would
short
bolt
and
out.
cut off. It almost sounded glitchy. I ditched my cleaning cart to go backstage and check on the animatronics. And I could see they were in their idle modes now, meaning they would move their limbs and heads around every so often. I would have to go to the control room to turn them off, but this was the second strange thing to happen that night. I started getting paranoid that someone else was in the building with me, but that thought was interrupted when I noticed that the Chucky animatronic was facing me, and its head angled down perfectly to look as though it was looking at me.
Okay.
It was bizarre. Bizarre that I was finding it that disturbing.
It's FNAF. They got the FNAF. They got the... Okay, they got the thing looking at him at the camera. They got the camera visual effect. It's FNAF. This is based off FNAF.
Crazy. But for my own peace of mind, with my eyes on the Chucky animatronic, I walked past it, closer to the control room.
Hang on, I'll be back. Sorry about that. Someone decided to call in the middle of a video. I should probably put my phone somewhere else when I'm recording a reaction video. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
I waited there for a few seconds.
Then
When
move.
the animatronic spun 90 degrees to face me once more, perfectly. I swear it was once again looking right at me, and then the laughter emitted once again from the animatronic. But in a creepy, glitchy, cut-off manner. This time much louder, obviously because I was right next to it. I ran to the control room to hit the switch to turn everything off on the stage once more. I left the control room, and the Chucky animatronic was still facing the direction it was moments before. I left the stage through the curtain and just felt uneasy.
I would too.
I was starting to think maybe it was all just getting to my head. But that's when I heard the horrible laugh again come from the stage behind the curtains.
I'm dipping.
That was the last straw. I took my card, clocked out, and left.
I would too.
I texted my boss the next day that I had to leave early because I was feeling extremely sick. He said it wasn't a problem, but he never mentioned anything about the animatronics being left on. And when I asked him if the animatronics had some kind of motion detecting feature to look at people, he said no, they didn't. I'm not the most superstitious guy, but I firmly believe I wasn't the only presence in that building that night. And I don't mean there was another person in there.
Yeah, it's FNAF, bro. They got they got dead children there. They got children's souls stuck inside an animatronic. You know, it's FNAF. Story number 3. Can I survive the last story? Let's find out.
This is a story from my childhood that I don't like to look back on too much. I was 13. My mom brought my 2 little sisters and I to Chuck E. Cheese one evening. My sisters are 4 and 6 years younger than me, so it was more for them. And my mom just wanted me to come along. My mom was playing games with my sisters, so I went to do my own thing. It was my only time ever at Chuck E. Cheese, so I was trying to play every game at least once. Eventually, a worker in a red polo shirt came up to me. He was in his lower to mid-20s, I'd say. He didn't seem that old. He asked me if I wanted some more tokens. I said, yeah, sure. He told me to follow him.
Back
He
room?
led me through this sketchy back door, which led to a back exit. I asked him where
Bro,
he was
this is the same story as the first one, except this guy's not even wearing a costume. It's just wearing an employee shirt. Don't tell me this guy also like trying to impersonate workers as well. Like I swear, if this guy's impersonating workers as well, like what's wrong with Chuck E. Cheese?
leaving me. He said to his truck. He told me not to tell anyone, but that he had access to all the tokens he wanted and just kept piles of them in his car. I stopped following when I realized he was leading me to his car. I told him my mom would be mad. He tried to push that I follow him a little more, but gave up. Before I walked back inside, he asked for my AIM username, and I gave it to him. I was excited for new friends on AIM.
What's
For
AIM?
those of you who don't know, AIM was an instant messenger that was all the rage before smartphones and texting really became a thing. I don't remember his username. All I know, it was something with his name in it, which was Ben. I would sign on to AIM every single night, including that night after Chuck E. Cheese. I signed in, and I had a few friends online. Next thing I knew, I got a message from Ben, so I added him to my buddy list. He said, "Hey, it's Ben from earlier." I replied, "What's up?" and we started
This guy's a
chatting.
pedo as well.
He chatted with me as if we were good friends already. I asked him how he was able to get all the tokens he wanted, and he said it's easy when you work there. He told me he was going to come to my house that night with a bunch of tokens.
Okay, I feel like parents should I feel like parents should tell their kids never to tell a stranger where they live unless they're a classmate. Like, unless you have a classmate or like some friend from soccer practice or basketball practice or like someone that your parents know, you should never give them your address whatsoever. Like, why are you giving this random guy you met at Chuck E. Cheese, your address? Like, I feel like kids should actually I feel like they should actually teach their kids that. So yeah.
I told him, no, it's okay. And he told me, no, it's fine. You live really close to me anyway. I replied, how do you know where I live? And he said he followed my mom's van on our way home.
Okay,
I blocked his account
scary.
immediately. I was beyond scared.
Tell your
I
mom.
told my friends about it on AIM. Some of them said I should tell my parents or call the police. But I waited. Maybe
Waiting
he
for
was
what?
But no, he wasn't. I heard a truck pull up outside through my open window. I looked out the window and saw the black truck that Ben guy was leading me towards earlier. I saw him get out from the truck, and I know he spotted me because he started walking over to my window. I pulled the window in and locked it, and then shut the blind. By that point, he was already halfway to my window, and he was waving his arms at me. I ran to my mom to tell her. She didn't find it funny, thinking I was kidding at first, but I convinced her after she looked out the window and saw the black truck begin to speed down the road. My mom wanted me to show her the AIM conversation, but I couldn't, as I had deleted him off my buddy list and blocked him.
Wow.
My parents called the police, of course, but that was just for peace of mind. They couldn't do anything besides make a report. The next day, my mom called the Chuck E. Cheese and asked about a Ben. They said they had no Bens who worked there. There were also no employees matching that guy's description. The Chuck E. Cheese eventually handed the CCTV footage from the day before to the police department for an investigation, which turned up no results. My family never went to a Chuck E. Cheese ever again.
Alright, that's it. Damn, bro, the sounds really get me. Review time. Alright, I feel like they just repeated the same story twice. Like, at least make it a little bit different. At least the second one had, like, something with it. It was kind of a FNAF reference. But, like, the first one and third one were basically the same story. Some random employee, some random person that was at Chuck E. Cheese, lures the kids, and then tries to get his thing. The only thing different with the third one is that the guy actually followed the kid home. But, like, it's basically the same story. Like, it's just some random guy that dressed up as an employee at Chuck E. Cheese. It's basically the same thing. At least, like, make the third one a little bit different. Like, I don't know. Let's say you got stuck into the machine, for example, or like you were hiding at Chuck E. Cheese and then the place is locked out. And then you're stuck there and then you start having nightmares. So, instead of like having the same story repeated twice. So I would give this like a 6 out of 10. If this was like any other story, like no joke, if this was any other story, it would have been such a lower. It would have been so lower. Like if it wasn't through a kid's perspective, it would have been so low. Because think about it, if you're like 13, would you really trust a guy? Would you really trust the guy at all? Compared to like when you're a kid, when you're like 6 years old, and the guy says, "Oh, I'll give you free tokens if you follow me." Would you believe him? You probably will if you're 6 years old. If you're 13, you would probably just ignore him. So, yeah, I'm just giving them the benefit of the doubt. But for me, it's a 6 out of 10. So, if you guys like this reaction video, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet, hit the post notification bell because I don't have a schedule. Also, go check out the video for yourself, and go subscribe to Mr. Nightmare. Anyways, peace out.